What's good, GATV family? Hope all is well. So check me out, y'all. I mean, this is another crazy story, man. 4 Americans, African Americans, that is, were kidnapped in Mexico. Them folks were traveling for a medical procedure, specifically for the mother who survived. And I mean, it's really crazy to me that this could happen, but you know what goes on in Mexico. But to be fair, they didn't go deep over there. They were along the border when this occurred. And unfortunately, folks, 2 did not survive. But fortunately, 2 were recovered. And, before I go on and on, I'm going to play a video and let you guys catch up with, how all of this transpired.
Out of Mexico, officials there now say that they have located the 4 Americans abducted last week. They sadly report that 2 of them are dead. The video of their kidnapping is so troubling and terrifying. You can see what investigators believe are members of a Mexican drug cartel loading the group into the back of a truck. This happened in broad daylight, as you can very well see, after a shooting that left at least 1 bystander dead. A source tells CNN that investigators believe that the kidnappings here are a case of mistaken identity. Their families say they were traveling from South Carolina to Mexico for a medical procedure. Let's get over to Josh Campbell. He has the very latest coming in for us. Josh, what more are officials saying now?
Well, Kate, I've been talking with U.S. officials familiar with this investigation since this event began, and although they were holding out hope that they would be able to rescue these 4 American victims, they were very honest. They said, look, the situation looks very grim, and that is because in that video that you showed, that very graphic video from the aftermath of this incident, you see people being loaded onto the bed of that truck, including 1 woman who was shoved into the bed. There were other people loaded onto the back of that truck who did not appear to be moving. Now we're getting the new breaking news coming in. A U.S. official familiar with this investigation tells me that all 4 of the American victims have been located. However, 2 of them are deceased. 2 did survive, but I'm told that one of those who did survive is severely injured. And so that person is receiving medical care at this hour. Now, this occurred at some type of medical clinic in Matamoros, which is just over the U.S. border. This is part of the location where we know this group of Americans went from South Carolina to Texas and into Mexico. A source said seeking medical treatment. They were just recently found at some type of clinic. But again, the breaking news, 2 of them sadly are deceased. As far as what happens next, we know that special agents from the FBI have been engaged with their counterparts in Mexico since this incident began. And so we're expecting that those agents, if they're not already on scene, will be working with their Mexican law enforcement partners to go to the scene where these victims are. They, of course, want to gather as much information as they can and certainly ensure their own well-being. And then separate and apart from that, there's obviously a large investigation that will still go on in order to try to find these perpetrators. Now, a U.S. official familiar with this incident told me that the theory that law enforcement has is that this group of innocent Americans, they were mistaken by members of the Gulf Cartel for Haitian drug smugglers. They were there in that area. This group of cartel members thought that perhaps this was a group of Haitian smugglers who were on their turf, opened fire, and then, as the source told me, it appears as though this cartel members went into panic mode. They load those victims into the truck and then drive away. But of course, a robust investigation required now. It is a serious offense, obviously, that the FBI takes very seriously when there are threats to Americans, and so we know that an investigation remains ongoing.
Now, what's even more heartbreaking, one of the victims, Shahid, family, specifically his mother, spoke, and his daughter was there as well, and his other children, and it's heartbreaking to watch this lady describe what happens. But folks, check it out.
Tell me that how
Talking to Latavia, and if so, how is she doing?
morning. She was doing okay. I talked to her last night.
What'd you guys talk about?
I asked how she was doing. She was telling me that how they was hostile and how they had her in that little place and it was stank with the, her brother in there, and all of them was hostile in with a thing together. And they were moving her from place to place.
Did she understand? Did they understand what was happening to them at the time?
No, because she said when they had drove, they was going through, and a van, they was driving through, and a van came up and hit them, and that's when they started shooting at the car, shooting inside the van or whatever, and I guess she said the other ones tried to run and they got shot at the same time. Shahid and ZELLE and Eve, they all got shot at the same time, and she watched them die.
And you helped to raise Shahid, right, who died. Can you tell us about him?
Yes. I had, his mother had passed away when he was like 15, and I had him ever since then, and he was in the house, and so she took him as her brother, which is her cousin. But it's her brother, and her cousin is my nephew and my son. And he was a good person. And I miss him, I love him, and nothing I wouldn't do for him.
Unsettling chain of events, man. I mean, it's really unfortunate, guys. There's a lot of folks in the U.S. that actually goes outside of our borders to get medical procedures done, get cheaper pharmacy. I know personally friends that heads out to Canada. They get their pills dirt cheap. That's a socialist country. I know folks that go do their dental work in Cuba, etc., etc. And for all you females out there trying to get that extra good stuff, y'all be going to like Colombia, y'all be going to Dominican Republic. I only ask my people, man, please do research. I hate to use stories like this to reflect what we have right here in the United States. But I'm telling you, man, for all the bad that you could think of in our country, it's so much more crazier outside of these walls. And, I'm not just gonna say a blanket statement like that without giving context. Of course, there are wonderful places when you leave here. It's just you have to research the region of which you're headed to. You gotta know the temperature of what's going on. And to be fair to these 4 set of Americans, they were mistaken for Haitian drug smugglers who, if you don't know, there has been a big Haitian migration going to Mexico, trying to cross the borders into the United States. And unfortunately, those people who just want, a better life are misconstrued with the element that affects all nations of a, small syndicate that unfortunately, again, dwells within the drug community. And Mexico, territorial, they don't play that, man. And I feel so bad for those folks, man. I just wish personally we could really look at what we got going on, what we're doing, and, pay attention, really pay attention. I personally don't know what more they could have done, but I know it's not fair to their families. I mean, dang. How do you explain that to the children, man? Look at these folks, man. My heart is breaking for them, man. But again, we can always learn lessons from tragic events like this. I mean, look how beautiful these black people are, man. These are beautiful people, man. Just was driving down, and then this happens. I thought I would share this with y'all. I'm not gonna hold y'all. I'm really putting this out there so you guys can go check out this story, because there's no way that this is okay. But again, y'all, this is what's going on. Me personally, I really, really love where I'm at, where I was born, where I'm raising my children. I understand the things that could be better, but this is where my investment is. It's in these states. I travel, y'all. Trust me, I travel. But make no mistakes about it. I really be careful where I go to. And these folks right here, man, just looking at, they're so beautiful, man. Our people just wasted away like animals in the street. And it makes you wonder, had they been Caucasian, would there be more pressures on the Mexican government to really crack down? I mean, they're saying they found a 24-year-old suspect, but you know, it's almost like, hey, here, we're gonna just throw a bone at y'all. I don't feel the same energy that, you know, this government would have had it been, you know, Caucasian tourists. But GATV had to do this for y'all, man. Hit your boy up, like, comment, subscribe, but most importantly, keep coming back.
If it's love, I want everything. Touch my soul, touch my heart, don't judge my mental. They told me that life is simple, been real since Papa Pimple. I started out in the rental, Sonata, the presidential. Speak once and listen twice, they told me that less is simple.